Good morning, everyone, and a good Shabbos. So 27 years ago today, I was set up on a blind date with Dini. And I called her at 1 o'clock to ask her out on Saturday night, and tomorrow night we went out for the first time. When you think about anniversaries, you think about the word love, and you think about, today there's no such thing as a blind date because you check them out right away on Facebook, you see a picture, internet, someone sends you a picture. In those days, it was a blind date. I had no idea what she looked like before I met her Saturday night. And you think about like and love, and there's something very interesting, that in the Hebrew language, and I challenge anyone to find the definition of this word, we all know what the word love is in Hebrew, ahava. But there's no word in Hebrew for like. Interesting. Like, L-I-K-E. There's no word in Hebrew for like. People say, I love my wife and ani ohev chocolate cake, chocolate, Love is used for everything. There's no such word as like in Hebrew. I'm not sure why, but that's the fact. So the question is, what's the difference between like and love? When you start dating someone, you like them at first, but eventually you love them. What's the difference between liking someone and loving someone? And it's interesting that you could argue that like and love are not only not similar, but they're actually opposites. They're opposites. How is that? So in this week's Parsha, we begin learning about Abraham, Avram Avinu. And we remember Abraham 3 times a day. We start the Shemona Esrei, blessed are you God, King of the universe, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. This is the way we start the Amidah every day. But then when we finish the blessing, the first blessing of the Shemona Esrei, we say, Baruch Atah Hashem, blessed are you God, Magen Abraham, the shield of Abraham. So the question is, if we started by saying, blessed are you God, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, then we should finish by saying, blessed are you God, the shield of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Why do we start with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but we only finish with Abraham? And there's a midrash that says it's all connected to the opening verse of this week's Parsha. God says to Abraham, go to the land that I will show you. I'll make you into a great nation. This refers to the God of Abraham. I will bless you. This refers to the God of Isaac. And I'll make your name renowned. This refers to the God of Jacob, meaning not just you, but your son and your grandson will follow in your ways. However, you will be a blessing. What does it mean, the ending words, you will be a blessing? That will conclude the blessing with Magen Avraham, only you exclusively. But what does that mean? Why is that a blessing? You would think Abraham would want to finish the blessing with not only his name, but his son's name and his grandson's name. How, by making it exclusively him, is that a blessing? And there are many answers, but one answer goes like this. There are 3 pillars, it says in Ethics of Our Fathers, the world stands on: kindness, prayer, and Torah study. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob represent these 3 pillars. Abraham was the man of kindness, Isaac was the man of prayer, Jacob was the man of Torah study. So we say, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we need all 3 pillars: kindness, prayer, and charity. But the conclusion is Abraham. Why? Because the way all of the 3 pillars are implemented is through kindness, which means prayer has to be done with kindness, Torah study has to be done with kindness, and even kindness has to be done with kindness. Sometimes you could be kind to someone in an unkind way. Here's charity, but don't bother me again. You're a nuisance. You could make the person feel terrible. So not only do you have to do kindness, prayer, and Torah study, but you have to do all of them through kindness. And that's why the conclusion is the shield of Abraham. So what's the difference between love and like? So love is about giving. It's about the other person. Like is about taking. It's about yourself. People often mistakenly interchange the words, but what is love? Love is this one piece of chocolate cake left. But I love you so much, my dear wife and my dear son, I want you to have it. And I'll get more pleasure knowing you're going to eat the chocolate cake than I'm going to eat it because I love you. It's not about me. Like is about what I want, what I enjoy. I like this, so therefore I want it for myself. Whenever you say you like something, you're saying it's to my liking, it's to my pleasing, to my pleasure, to my enjoyment. People often say, oh, I love my car. You don't love your car. You wouldn't sacrifice anything for your car. You like and enjoy the pleasure of riding the car. But you love people. People will die for the people they love. They'll sacrifice their life for their children, for their spouse. Why? They'll give up all their enjoyment and pleasure in life, everything they like, for the person they love. Because love is not about you, it's about the other person. Like is about yourself. And therefore the modality of Abraham is love. It's about thinking of the other person and doing all of the service of God through the action and the attribute of love. Heard a story that there was this fellow who was becoming a teacher. Took on a profession to be a teacher, a Rabbi in a yeshiva. So he said, I need advice. So he called, he remembered his third grade Rebbe he loved more than all those Rebbes. He said, let me call my old third grade Rebbe in yeshiva and ask him advice for being a good teacher. So he called his old teacher, and his teacher was very happy to hear from me. He said, I want you to know from all my teachers, you are my favorite teacher. I'm becoming a teacher. Give me your best advice for being a teacher. And the teacher said, there's one rule you need to know. You must love all your students. That's the most important thing for a teacher, to love all your, if you love them, you'll care about them, and you'll be the best, most effective teacher. So this new teacher says to his old teacher, what's if there's a kid who's a nuisance, a challenge, a difficult kid that it's hard to love that kid? How am I supposed to love every kid in the class? So the teacher said, if there's a kid who's difficult and challenging and obnoxious and disrespectful, love him twice as much. He said, twice as much? You know, it's bad, hard enough to love him as much as everyone else. How should I love him twice? Why should I love him twice as much? Why does he deserve twice the love? And the teacher said, you know why? Because the reason he's misbehaving is because it was probably last year's teacher didn't love him. So therefore you have to love him twice as much to make up from last year and for this year. The greatest need of every human being is to be loved, but not to be liked, that I enjoy your presence because it benefits me, but that truly I care about you. And when you feel that love, it's the greatest inspiration and the greatest motivation. And therefore, Magen Avraham, we finished Amidah, first prayer every day by saying, make sure all your actions are done with feeling, with love, and true love, not like, but love, concern for the other person, their welfare, and their best interest.